Okay, let's take a little tour of the arcade. It's been a little while since I've done one of these videos, and there's been a few additions since then. So we have the wall over here, which has all my arcade 1-ups, which regular viewers of the channel will see in the background of all my videos. There's my pedestal arcade, which is playing X-Men, one of my favorite games. Over here we have this other wall, which represents another area of my fandom, which is comic books. There's some Blu-rays on the wall over here, some more Funko Pops. Here's my cocktail cabinet with a couple extra lights from Five Below featuring Pac-Man and a couple ghosts. Over here is my adult section of the arcade, the little bar area where I'm prone to have a drink or two every now and then, so nice little comfortable place in my own home where I can enjoy myself. Here is my collection of smaller arcade cabinets from my arcade and my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade 1-up countercade, excuse me. My Marvel Pachislo, which we'll go into detail about all this stuff later. Terminator 2 arcade cabinet, which I love. I couldn't wait to get my hands on when I first heard that they were releasing it. Little area for movie watching, snacks, candy, some more collectibles and stuff over there. There's my console gaming section where I have an Xbox One, Wii U, Xbox 360, a couple other consoles hold up to. Collection of Terminator and Aliens merchandise. So let's get started going more in depth on everything down here. Over here, again, this is my arcade area. We have a candy machine. Now, I dare you to take candy out of this thing. I don't think this candy has been replaced since Reagan was president. It's pretty hard and pretty nasty, but there's a funny story behind this, which is kind of incriminating, and if I ever meet you in real life, I'll tell you all about it. It's pretty funny. One of my favorite Marvel cabinets, the Marvel Superheroes arcade cabinet, which has Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom, and the Punisher on there, 3 of my favorite games. As I've said before, X-Men Children of the Atom, I could not wait to get my hands on. The first time I saw it was in a little corner store when I was in college, and I used to actually take my laundry money. I didn't have a ton of money back then. I was a poor college student. I would take my laundry money, hang my jeans up, and actually use the change for laundry to go and play that game. Over here, my Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet, which has Mortal Kombat 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat on it. I love this game. It still gets a ton of use. Although, I hate playing it one player because of the fact that once you pass a couple fights, they pretty much just detect your inputs, so you can't defeat the guy that you're facing, which is super annoying. Again, X-Men, one of my favorite games. I remember being a kid, a bunch of my friends would play the 6-player cabinet over at Putt Putt. Loved it. It's a control deck, which is from Game Room Solutions. I designed the front of this, plus the base down here. There's my Ninja Turtles stool. The base down here is from Game Room Solutions, the pedestal base. This used to be on a bookcase, but it wobbled a little bit when I would play fighting games, and it would kind of mess me up, so I ended up upgrading, and I'm very happy that I did. Here is my Street Fighter 2 cabinet. So it's got Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, and Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This was the first arcade 1-up that I ever bought. I love it to death. The Street Fighter is one of my favorite games. This is probably my arcade cabinet that gets the least love, but I still enjoy it anyway. Final Fight, 1944 The Loop Master, Strider, and Ghosts and Goblins. Final Fight is probably one of my favorite games on this thing. So here's my little arcade sign. I forgot to turn the little lights on, the little Pixel Pals, but this is a nice addition that kind of makes everything stand out over here. Here is my little area with a bunch of Blu-rays. I still like to have physical media. I know that we're in an era of streaming, but it's still nice to actually have the tactile copies and to be able to pop something in when the internet goes down. A couple lights. There's my Iron Man, Spider-Man, Star Wars lightsaber. Here's a bunch of Funko Pops over here. The 90s X-Men animated series and the comic books are one of my favorite eras of comic books. Big fan of Jim Lee's art. Love the style of this and everything like that. Colossus is my favorite X-Men, so when I saw a metal Funko Pop of that, I had to get my hands on it. Here's some more Marvel Funko Pops, a bunch of stuff from the Avengers, and some of my comic books, graphic novels. My wife always laughs at me when I call them graphic novels. She will always call them comic books. Over here is more Funko Pops, more comic books, graphic novels. Again, here I keep going with that. Some more artwork. This right here is a brand new addition to my collection, the Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson Black Adam, which is a gift from my stepdaughter Bailey. Thank you, Bailey. And here is my cocktail cabinet. Arcade 1-Up cocktail cabinet that plays a whole bunch of old school games. Added a couple lights there to make it stand out. When I was a kid, I remember playing this with my mom at Pizza Hut. Every time we would go and wait for pizza, we would play Galaga, and she would smoke me. So for nostalgia's sake, and a lot of this basement is pretty much based on nostalgia, I had to get this. I love it. Over here, some more merchandise. Here is from the Warner Brothers store, the now defunct Warner Brothers store, which with grown man money, I wish that it was still around because I would be killing it in there. They had awesome stuff. Here's a bust of Superman, a bust of Batman, and Bruce Timm style, one of my favorite artists. I love the Batman animated series, Superman, Justice League. Here is, it's kind of tough to see, Funko Pop of the Adam West Batmobile, featuring Adam West Batman. I love that Batmobile. It's my favorite Batmobile. More Batman the Animated Series Funko Pops. More graphic novels, haha. And a very dirty dehumidifier. Green Lantern Mark statue, which, of course, this should be green. Brightest Day, Blackest Night, all that. More Blu-rays and videos. A couple wrestling Funko Pops. There's the arcade bathroom. And now we're going to take a stroll over to the bar area, which, here's my Batman protecting my bar from all the teenagers who might partake. Actually, my stepkids have been pretty good with it, so Batman's still watching out, but I don't really have to worry too much about that. Here, I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. Here's an autographed picture of Dawson Knox that my stepson got me when he was at a signing, so that was very cool of him to do. I keep it here in pride. So happy with that. Some more Bills merchandise. And the bar has a Batman and Superman theme. Again, I'm a big comic book guy. Batman and Superman are my favorites. So a bunch of this stuff is gifts from my wife that I've saved over the years. She's really, really good with fueling my nerdness. And this is a nice, again, comfortable little area where I can go and have a drink, or we can entertain a couple people, and, you know, I really enjoy it. Over here is my collection of smaller arcades. Here is my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles countercade. I would have loved to have a full size or the arcade 1-Up 3/4 cabinet playing both these games with the 4 players. The Ninja Turtles games are a couple of my favorite games, but unfortunately, space-wise, it doesn't work, but this works out great. I may even get a couple other countercades and stuff and find an area to put them in there just so I can actually have that feeling of playing the game, but on a smaller scale. Here, over here, is my collection of my arcade smaller cabinets, a bunch of Data East games and classic games like Pac-Man, Bad Dudes, Karate Champ, the original Contra arcade game, which I don't know why it's doing the low power, power off deal, but we'll have to change the batteries in there. Bubble Bobble, which I play with my daughter all the time, Galaga, Galaxian, and Burger Time. In the middle right here is a change machine. This is actually a charger for tablets, phones, etc., etc. I had to get this just because of the fact that it looks like the classic change machines of the arcade. I love that whole arcade feel. Here's some more stuff. We're going to stay away from this area over here. It's my office. It's quite a mess. But we're going to take a look at this, because this is one of my favorite things down here. This is my Marvel Heroes Pachislo, which is pretty much a slot machine. So you would take 3 coins, which I keep in here. You can't use actual money in this, but try not to make the camera fly around all over the place. So you stick a couple coins in here. You can drop one on the floor if you want. Hit the button. Let's see if I can get lucky. Which I did not. But that's pretty much what you do. After you reach a certain point, the coins will start shooting out. Again, this is just like the casinos. They actually keep these in the casinos in Japan, and once they decide to cycle them out, they sell them to private collectors and everything like myself. And You know, I'm really happy with this. I've had it for a long time. There's just some more games, Wii paraphernalia. And my Terminator 2 arcade. I could not wait to get my hands on this. Again, Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies. Probably behind Aliens and the original Terminator, but I still love it. Once I heard they were making this, I had to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, the price point of $700 was a little bit too much, but I managed to get a great deal on this. I just wish it had more than one game on here. But this thing still gets a ton of use. My daughter and I actually beat the T-1000 for the first time ever the other day, and it was quite an achievement because this game is ridiculous. If we were playing this in the arcade, we probably spent $70. So, worked out great. I'm going to take a little stroll over here to my little chill-out area. Turn this Xbox on. Like I said before, this is my console gaming area where I have an Xbox One. Xbox 360 is hooked up still, a Wii U. Here is the first arcade I've ever built. So it runs off of a very, very old computer that's on its last legs. So right now it's playing WWF Superstars, is one of my favorite games. Big wrestling fan. I take the kids all the time when they come into town. My father used to take me when I was a kid. It's kind of a family tradition. Terminator 2 poster with some more merchandise. Bunch of 80s Funko Pops. These are from my favorite movies, The Goonies, Predator. You got the mud-covered Schwarzenegger one, which is awesome. Hans Gruber and John McClane from Die Hard, and then some snacks and some M&M stuff and a couple other Funko Pops that I'm going to have to put on display somewhere else. It's my giant Batman, another gift from my wife. Kind of love that lady. Here is a little storage area, which is covered by a Batman and Superman poster. Justice League rug right here, a little throw rug. Terminator poster, Aliens poster, and here is a bunch of my Terminator merchandise. A bunch of NECA figures, McFarlane Toys figures, some reaction figures. This T-800's eye still lights up after 20 years. Up here is my Alien stuff. Right here. I was so excited when I saw the Ripley in the Power Loader Funko Pop. My wife and I were at GameStop, and I almost jumped up and down in the middle of the store when I saw that. I couldn't believe that they finally released something like that. So when I found it under the Christmas tree, it was quite a little surprise that my wife actually went and got it for me. So we'll take another look. Here's my little lounge area. These recliners are beat up, and eventually it'll be time to go. I still got a little bit of life left on them, but I would like to replace them. They've got covers on them and everything, but they still work. Nice little cup holders, and again, the upholstery is coming off and everything, so something I'd like to eventually replace. Over here, just a little light up table setting that I have. Just a Mario box and a couple lights from Five Below. And there we have it. There's the arcade in a nutshell. Again, there are tons of people on the internet that have more extravagant arcades, tons of things in them. That's great. I'm very happy for them. With me, I have a bit of a budget, and I've managed to do something amazing with the small amount of space that I have and turn this into something that represents all of my fandom. So even from the movies to the arcade games to the comic books to having my office still in here, again, which I'm not going to show you because it's just completely trashed. I love having an area like this where I can just go and escape and just be a complete nerd. So, and it also has alcohol. So, but thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed this little trip to the arcade, and I'll see you in an upcoming video. Until next time.